We're focusing on the sales comparison approach for the California real estate exam, one of the most critical valuation methods you'll be tested on. This approach, also known as the market data approach, is based on the principle of substitution. Essentially, a knowledgeable buyer won't pay more for a property than what a similar, comparable property has recently sold for. The exam will test your ability to select appropriate comparable sales, or comps, and make correct adjustments. Comps should be recent, nearby, and physically similar to the subject property. An exam question might ask you to identify the best comparable from a list. The best comp is always the one that requires the fewest and smallest adjustments. The most important rule, and a common exam trap, is that you never, ever adjust the subject property. All adjustments are made to the comparable property's sales price to make it more like the subject property. To remember this, use the mnemonic CIA and CBS. CIA stands for comparable inferior, add, meaning if the comp is inferior to the subject, you add value to the comp's price. CBS stands for comparable better, subtract, meaning if the comp is superior, you subtract value. For instance, if our subject property has 3 bedrooms, but a comparable that sold for $500,000 has 4 bedrooms, the comparable is superior. You must subtract the value of that extra bedroom from its $500,000 sales price. Conversely, if the comp lacks a feature the subject has, like a garage, the comp is inferior, and you must add the value of the garage to its sales price. Adjustments are made for various factors, including location, physical condition, size, time of sale to account for market changes, and even financing terms if a seller offered unusually favorable terms that inflated the price. Another key concept is bracketing. This means you should select comps that are both superior and inferior to the subject property. For example, if your subject property is 1,500 square feet, you should use comps that are both larger and smaller. This brackets the subject's value and provides a more defensible estimate. The exam might test this by asking you to evaluate a set of comps and determine if they are adequate. Finally, you must understand the difference between a comparative market analysis, or CMA, and a formal appraisal. A real estate licensee, like an agent or broker, prepares a CMA to help a seller determine a listing price. It's an informal estimate of market value based on comparable sales. A formal appraisal, on the other hand, is conducted by a state-licensed appraiser and is a legally binding valuation required for most mortgage loans. The exam will trick you by using these terms interchangeably. Remember, licensees perform CMAs. Licensed appraisers perform appraisals. Mastering the CBS and CIA rule and the distinction between a CMA and an appraisal will secure you critical points on exam day. For free practice questions, AI-powered explanations, and more exam prep tools, visit openexamprep.com. That's openexamprep, all one word, .com.